Sorry, that's not how I wanted to start out a video. Um, I've been getting over a head cold for at least a week now. Um, Everybody that I come in contact with, they're like, oh, it's the new COVID variant. No, no. For me, no, it's not. Um, I Whenever my allergies get really bad, which is every single time the seasons change, um, it just turns into a head cold and I'm miserable until it goes away. And that's just all there is to it. Um, I am at the very end of it. I'm just got like a cough here and there and blowing my nose a million times a day just to get all the gunk out of my body. But that's one reason why I haven't recorded anything. And I'm just so thankful to these friends that are allowing me to stay with them because I honestly do not know how I would have gotten over this head cold sleeping on cold concrete out in this weather. This week it's been pretty nice, but it's it got rough there for a while. We were down in the 30s and everything, and this is just like fall still. Maybe we haven't even gotten into winter yet. Um, but I really haven't had anything to say to record because I've been sick and with my friends that allowing me to stay with them during these cold months, that has really helped a lot. I'm truly thankful. And I had a friend that I was like super worried about. He was staying at the mission, and he decided to leave there because every time he got sick, they would test him and he had COVID. And obviously, it wasn't bad enough that he needed to go to the hospital or anything, but it was bad enough that he would be quarantined for 2 weeks at a time. And he was tired of being quarantined all the time. And some guys walked in sick, and he was like, I'm not doing this again. So he packed up his stuff and he left the only men's shelter that there is in this town. But I was really worried about him for a while because he's like in his late 70s, early 80s, and he's already got health issues. So I went to the library a couple of days ago because I was feeling better and I pushed myself a little too fast, trying to do a little too much. But I ran into him and he told me that he found a camper that he's staying in. And the lady that's allowing him to stay there isn't charging him rent right now. So, sorry. Um, I just got done watching a video yesterday of panhandlers that aren't homeless, they're not in need, they're not down on their luck. I've seen a documentary a few decades back about the same thing. People that have money, have nice homes, nice cars, nice things, they're not hurting for anything. They'll go out and they'll panhandle to make their money because they don't want to go out and get a job. They would rather rip people off, which being homeless is very heartbreaking. And, you know, I started thinking the other day or yesterday, about maybe 2 or 3 hours after I watched this video, and I thought, if they're being dropped off and they're illegal immigrants and they can't speak English, because this one lady claimed that she couldn't speak English. She was Italian, and so she only knew how to speak Italian. And this guy offered her a job. He was like, "Be here tomorrow morning. I'll change your life. I'll get you a job. I'll help you out and everything." She never showed up. But another lady was dropped off like across the street from where the first lady had been located. And I started thinking, maybe they're in a situation where they're being forced to do this. Maybe they don't want to, but they got themselves, maybe they're human trafficked. Maybe the people that brought them to America, have contracts out on them, or maybe they owe these people money, and they're being forced to panhandle. So, that went through my head. And if that is the situation, then I really feel bad about my comment that I made, because I was like, me being homeless myself, this really angers me, because now you can't tell who actually is in need, because even though I'm homeless, the only thing that I think that you can tell is I don't change my clothes on a daily. Like, I don't know how many of y'all are actually interested in this, but for me, I've purchased like cheap panty liners or pads. And then there's also um, a non-profit group, I can't remember their names right now, where they also give out pads and panty liners. And I'll put a pad on my underwear and wear that around for a couple of days, and then I'll take it out and switch it. That way I'm not always having to change my underwear. And if I run out of pads or whatever, then my underwear is still good to wear for another day or two, so I'm not constantly changing. Socks, I usually wear my socks about 4 or 5 days, or whenever your feet sweat and it starts sticking to the bottom of your feet, yeah, where it's gross and nasty. Yeah, that's whenever I'll usually change my socks. I usually change them about every 4 or 5 days if I'm not doing too much walking. And then it also depends on if I'm layering, because if I'm layering, then what I'll do is the socks that are up against my skin, I'll take those off and put them with my dirty clothes, and then the socks that were on top, they're now next to my skin, and put another pair on top of that. And so I'm kind of like rotating them. My shirts, as long as I don't have stains on them, then I'll wear them until it's like, okay, you need to change this now. The same with my jeans and or sweats, but in the wintertime, I usually layer up, or whenever I am out on the street. So I'll have like a pair of yoga pants. I can't remember what they're called right now, but I'll have like a pair of yoga pants on, and then a pair of sweats, and then a pair of jeans over that. Now I do own one pair of jeans that fits better underneath sweats than they do over them, so. And now I'm just rambling because it's like super early in the morning and I've got to get ready. Gonna go to the food bank and see what I can get to help out my friends while I am here, because I kind of feel guilty eating their food, because they're on a restricted budget as well, and I know that it's not easy on them, and I do, even if it's 2 pieces of bread and a piece of meat and a slice of cheese for a sandwich. I kind of feel guilty eating their food. Um, I really didn't have anything else to talk about. I'm just really, really grateful that they've opened up their home to me until all this crazy weather ends, because we're about to enter, well, actually, we are in tornado season. It just hasn't gone full blown yet. So, and to be honest, because I don't really talk to anybody on the streets, there's like maybe less than a handful of people that I'll actually speak to whenever I am, you know, running errands, going to meetings, going to appointments, going to eat. You know, there's just very, very few people that I'll talk to. I don't want to associate with those degenerates. I don't understand how people can't, you know, yeah, you're in a bad situation, and yeah, it sucks having to sleep outside, but, you know, take pride. You know, don't scare off the residents of the town, because if you do that, you're definitely scaring off our tourists. I don't really know. I don't I wouldn't call them tourists here. I mean, it's such a small town. Like, the population's 50,000, maybe a little less than 50,000. So I don't know if you can consider visitors tourists or not, but we have some pretty cool museums around here. And from what I've heard, other homeless people talking and everything, the resources that we have here in this town is above and beyond any other place in America. I mean, I I thought for sure by now I'd be down to my ideal weight, because being homeless and not having the finances to feed myself and everything else, and always having to move because the cops want to harass you, and but I've actually obtained, you know, my weight is slowly, gradually, you know, going down, which I was wanting to lose weight anyways, but it's not like I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be like whenever you get a flu or something, and you go into the flu, and then whenever you come out of the flu, you're like 5-10 pounds lighter than what you were at the beginning. But it's nothing like that. I eat 3 meals a day at least. One of the places that I go to eat, and they'll give me a to-go meal, and then the Salvation Army, you know, and I really hope that whenever I get my disability granted to me, that my back pay is high enough that I can donate some funds to each of these organizations that has been there for me and helped me out. Because the amount of food that has to be donated to all of these places just for the snack sacks, the lunch bags, the soup kitchens that I go to, you know, the food that's donated, and then the time to prep and cook, and then the volunteers that come out to serve. It's a lot. It is a lot, and people don't realize how much it takes to feed everybody. I don't even think, because of how some people act at these soup kitchens, especially at Salvation Army, because I actually had one lady encourage her girls who, teenagers, I mean, clearly, I mean, if they were like itty bitty, you know, like a little older than toddlers, where they could stand on their own and, you know, carry their own trays and everything, you know, I could understand, hey, go, hurry up, get in line, blah, blah, blah. But this one lady, she encourages her girls to literally run to the line. And one day she was annoying me because we were on the bus and, oh, y'all are going to Burger King? Oh, well, get us this and get us that. And we want this and we want that. And they're going to Salvation Army to eat. And they've got cheeseburgers and chicken strips waiting for them at home because their family's going to Dairy Queen, you know. It's like, how how do you how do you take advantage of the kindness of volunteers and then eat out right after? It just, I don't understand how some people's brains work. It doesn't make sense to me. Just like one day I was in line and this girl, she was all hyped up and everything. Oh, I just got out of 3 North. And here in where I live, 3 North is what we call the BHU, or Behavioral Health Unit, psych ward at the hospital, because it's on the 3rd floor of the hospital and it's facing the north. Um, or it's at the north end of the hospital. That's why it's called 3 North. It used to be 1 North, but for some reason they moved us upstairs to the 3rd floor, whatever. And she was all excited that she had just gotten out of the hospital and everything, and I'm sitting here going, how can you be so excited about getting out of the hospital and then come here and eat a meal? Because while you're in the hospital, not only do you get 3 meals a day, but you also get like 2-3 snacks a day, plus you're able to shower every single day as many times as you want. You're sleeping in a bed with blankets and pillows and all of these um, luxuries. And then after eating your heart out and it's a short-term BHU, so like the longest that you can stay is like 2 weeks, I think. I think the longest I've ever known anybody to stay there is 2 weeks. And then you're full of all of this food, and I know for a fact that she ate before she left, because a lot of the times whenever they go to discharge you, they'll be like, oh, well, we're going to discharge you at this time, and if it's in the morning, they'll let you have breakfast before you leave. If it's in the afternoon, you get to have lunch before you leave, and if it's in the evening, you get to have dinner before you leave. So it's very irritating. It's like people are so self-absorbed nowadays that they don't think, hey, you know, I'm taking a meal out of somebody else's mouth here. If you want to come to like see your friends and whatever, then that's kosher. You know, I get it. You've been in the hospital for at least 3 days, so you're wanting to catch up with your friends and catch up on all the gossip and everything. I get that, but anyways, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm the one that has the backwards way of thinking. I don't know. But I've always been like that. I've always thought of others and how I can help others out and what's going to be beneficial to others. And if I do this, how's it going to affect others? Maybe that's my problem. Maybe I need to start being more self-absorbed and self-centered and selfish. Maybe that's the secret to a happy, long life. I don't know. Whatever. But yeah, I really don't have any experiences to share right now. And depending on how long our winter lasts, I don't know when I will be back out on the streets. I've got this lady, she's kind of like a case manager, and she's looking into Section 8 for me. I've already filed, but I'm really anxious to hear back, and it is an emergency situation, so she is calling the Section 8 people for me to find out how much longer my wait is, if I am going to be approved since I don't have an income, and all of that. And I'm supposed to be talking to her later on today, which it's November 9th, I believe. And so I'm supposed to be seeing her today, and she's supposed to be giving me the update on everything. So I'm just trying to keep my hopes up, because even though right now I have a temporary place to stay, it would be nice to have a permanent place. I wish if I did get a place, I wish I could, like, get a roommate, because there is one lady that, she's a super sweet lady, and I wouldn't mind, like, bringing her in and let her pull up a piece of carpet during bad seasons. But yeah, okay, so any other talking that I do now is just gonna be rambling, and if you are just now catching this, like this is the first time that you've ever seen one of my videos, this is just a video diary. I'm not only doing it just for myself, but for people that are curious as to what it's like being homeless. Right now I'm homeless with shelter. It's not my shelter, but it does the trick. It keeps me warm at night and off that cold concrete. So these are just diaries. The only reason that I post them is for those that are curious. Otherwise, there would be no other reason for me to do this but to just track, my day to day, and, be able to evaluate myself mentally. But if anybody is watching this that has experienced being homeless or that is homeless and you would like to share your testimony in the comments, I would be more than happy to read them. And just know that you're not alone. I'm sure you know that. I'm sure you see plenty of people out there on a daily, especially whenever you go to sleep in certain spots and what have you. If you've been homeless in the past because of whatever, if you want to share how you struggled through to get out of being homeless, please share in the comments. Otherwise, if you want to like this to keep track of which videos you have watched, go ahead. Otherwise, I'm not looking for likes. I'm not looking for followers or subscribers. That's not why I'm doing this. And honestly, if you watch my first video, I even explained that I don't like being the center of attention. I don't like having the spotlight on me. It's totally out of my character for me to even post these videos because of how I feel about being quote unquote exposed to strangers. But anywho, there is a gentleman. He goes by Pastor Roger. Sweet, sweet, sweet guy. I see him every now and again, and yesterday he was like, "Hey, how are you doing? I haven't seen you for a while." And we got to talking, and he's got a surgery coming up. So if you believe in prayers, please, all the prayers that you can send out that his surgery will be successful and go without any hitches. I would appreciate that. I know he also would. If you're not into prayers and you do that whole sending good vibes and thoughts and rainbows and unicorn poop, whatever, then, do that too. But, he's, he's a special person. He really is. He always caring. Every time I see him, he's always encouraging people around him and praying for people, and a very, very loving man. Very, yeah. I know that if he had the money, he would definitely change the world. That's for sure. But anyways, if you want to leave a comment, if you have any questions, if you're curious about anything related to being homeless, like the whole underwear story that I gave you today, if you have a question or whatever, go ahead, drop it in the comments. And I don't really check my YouTube channel and everything every day, so just give me a few days, maybe a week, before getting a response if you do decide to leave a comment or your questions or your testimony or whatever, because I get on to listen to some shorts, and there are a few that I like to listen to their reactions to certain videos or the stories that they have to tell, but to come on and, just be on my channel and, no. I try to avoid myself as much as I can since I'm with myself all the time. I get on my nerves more than I get on other people's nerves. I know that for fact. But anywho, it's pretty early still in the morning, and I do have to be up here in a few hours to go talk to this other case manager lady. So, I'll say adieu, and y'all have a wonderful day, and just remember, be nice. You may not know you don't know what other people are going through and their trials and tribulations. So just be open-minded, be caring, be understanding. Just be kind. It doesn't cost anything. Super, super cheap, which I love. Super, super cheap. And it doesn't take very much effort, and the energy that you won't even lose an eighth of a calorie. That's how little energy it takes to be kind. So, yeah, I don't know you, but I am praying for you, and I do love you. So, with that, have a wonderful day.